Okay, this reading is for Virgo. I have already shuffled these thoroughly. I'm just going to do a couple more. I'm going to be using this deck as my main deck. Then I'm going to use the vice versa deck as my secondary deck. This is for the first week of June for Virgo. Okay. Okay, so I feel the overall energy is of not feeling ready, um, not wanting to step forward, not wanting to take charge. It's probably because you can't see an outcome. You're probably just feeling so overwhelmed with everything that's going on in the world. Excuse me. And it almost feels like you have been deceived one way or another. Things just are not right. Someone probably did something to you that gave you that mindset that you cannot move forward, that you cannot look ahead. That could have been a relationship or a friendship or a partnership. You, it looks like you gave too much and you neglected yourself. And let's get a couple more cards. But you cannot let that affect you that way. I know Virgos, you guys are so generous and attentive to everybody's needs. But don't forget yourself, and don't let people take advantage of you, take advantage of the way you are so kind. People take advantage of people like it's so easy for them. It's crazy. It also looks like you have a lot of independence in your job. I don't know if you work remotely and then you've always worked remotely, or you are your own boss and you set your own rules. That gives you a lot of power, but the way you use power is, in a very generous and collected way that people admire. People look at you and they're like, whatever you say, they will listen. You are the person. um, that has always guided you. And I don't know if you work helping someone or work for a nonprofit, or it looks like you do some work for the greater good. It could even be artistic, which is obviously for the greater good. Um, but in that situation, in the regard that you have to filter, perhaps, the people you allow in your life, to not let that happen, to not let them drag you toward their negativity or take advantage of you. It looks like you put a lot of effort into the situation, but you were you were left in the dark, like you were doing this on your by yourself, like you were alone, like you took on this position of like, no, I'll take care of everything, don't worry, you don't need to do anything, because that's who you guys are, right? You take care of everybody. And then you were left alone, like it's just not fair. But you can change this. You can change the outcome of things. And there will come a moment where you're going to be face to face with that um, reality, right? With that person or situation that made you feel this way. To only realize feeling this way, it's your responsibility. No one can force that on you if you don't allow it. The message is very clear. You choose how you feel. You choose how to react to a situation. Obviously, that is insanely difficult for all of us. But you need to know that even when it's so hard to move forward, it's dark, you can't see anything, you don't know if you're going to walk it alone or not. But it's important to know you must keep going even when you don't know. And along the way, you be able to design any outcome you want. Because remember, you are held in very high regards. Look at yourself in the mirror and find that person. Don't don't worry about what happened. Move forward. You see, by the end of this week, there is a message coming, a message of inspiration coming. And take on that energy and move forward from it. And don't be afraid to assert yourself, because you already hold that position. People put you in a pedestal, like this is it, like this person figured it out. Probably because you're super zen and collected and calm and generous. But you have to allow yourself to see yourself for who you are. And if this is the situation that brings that to your awareness, it's a very good situation. I think you're only going to realize how positive this moment is in your life once you're through it. Because at this moment, you're looking at it like, oh, I've been used. And whatever the reason, it could be a little reason, it could be the worst. You have the power to decide how you feel. No one else, just you. Show yourself to yourself. Look in the mirror and remember that person. You are able to be a stoic, to move forward. Don't allow any circumstance to affect you. Learn your lesson and move on. And the best thing is too, karma exists, right? Whatever happened, it will, whatever goes around comes around, right? Like you don't need to do anything. You don't need to be upset and talk and get angry. Maybe just go for a run, let that energy out, go for a swim. But that is not you, to scream and bark at people. That is not you. Remember that remember who you are. Look at yourself in the mirror and remember that whatever happened that is out of your control. It makes no sense looking back and trying to figure things out and overthink. What can you control now? Sit down, write it on paper. What can you change right now about yourself, about your circumstance to not let that affect you, to not let that overwhelm you to a point that you're paralyzed. Move forward with that knowledge that you can do it, that you went through it, got stronger, and then move on. Even if you cannot see a path, move forward. All right, this is the message this week for Virgo. I hope it resonated. I hope it inspired someone. Please leave me a comment if you, and let me know how that feels for you. Thank you so much for watching. I will see you next week.